Okay guys, the first step in this master bedroom renovation is to remove the tile flooring. To do this, I'm using a hammer drill with a 1.5 inch bit, but I recommend using a 3-inch bit. So some advice for the more stubborn tiles is try hitting them from different angles and directions. For a larger project like this one, I'd recommend buying a hammer drill that has a cord option. The battery powered one kept dying too quickly. Here I'm using my hammer drill to remove the trim. I would not recommend doing this unless you intend to replace the trim as well as paint the walls. A safer way to remove the trim would be to use a breakaway blade. This safely removes the trim from the drywall without damaging it. While I was working on the tiles, my wife Sydney was covering the wood floor with paper. This helps protect the wood floors from getting damaged and makes for an easier cleanup. I'm not gonna lie, this part of the project sucked. Removing the tile glue is extremely tedious. At least with the tiles, I knew exactly what I was taking off. Here I had to make multiple passes to get all of the tile glue completely off, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then back and forth. I definitely recommend wearing a respirator. The amount of dust was absolutely insane. Here we're removing the popcorn ceiling. I'm using my Wagner spray gun and hot water. Let the water sit for about 1 minute before you start scraping. After I finished scraping off the popcorn ceiling, I patched up any tears or damage with drywall mud. Once it dried, I sanded it down. This electric drywall sander helped me out big time. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you're interested in purchasing it. Since we'll be using the spray gun to paint the walls, we taped off the window and all of the outlets. Here I'm applying great stuff. This is going to create a barrier so when I pour the concrete flooring, it's not going to leak out in any other sections. Here I'm rolling on the self-leveling primer. This is going to help the self-level bond with the existing concrete that's already there. I mix the self-leveling pearl into a bucket. Please note that this stuff dries super fast, so I'd recommend mixing it where you're going to be pouring it, or like I did here, I mixed it in the garage and I ran it straight to the location. As you can see, in a few seconds, my wife Cindy was in there making sure that everything was level and all the bubbles were out. This was definitely the most difficult thing that we did, and definitely the most frustrating. On the right hand side you can see that we messed up a little bit, but as we kept moving forward, we did find that only mixing half of the bucket and adding a little bit more water than the instructions told us to really helped smooth this thing out, and honestly gave it a way better finish. Unfortunately, we weren't able to film a lot of this process. The Quikrete was drying way too fast, and we had to move the camera to get it out of there. Once the self-leveling dried, we went ahead and added trim. To do this, we used a brad nail gun. Once we finished up with the trim, we went through with the cut gun and really cleaned up all of those edges. Prep the baseboards and make sure you clean them off really well. The Next thing you're gonna wanna do is where all those nails are, you're gonna wanna patch all the holes. To do this, you can use drywall mud or wood filler, and then paint over it once you're done. To really liven up this wall, what we did is take those pieces of wood that we stained from earlier and space them out 1/2 an inch. To do this, we cut off small pieces that were measured out to 1/2 an inch, and at the top and the bottom, we put them in between, and then nailed them on with a brad nail. You can also go across these with a piece of silicone or liquid nail and place it on the back side.